Hi everybody, welcome to the latest video. First thing I need to make you aware of is I am in a public park, so you may see and or hear other people walking around. First thing I'm going to make note of is this birch tree. This tree is actually dead. As you can see, a lot of the skin is, a lot of the birch bark is coming off, so I will be harvesting as much of this as I can. You can see up there quite a lot coming off, but moving shortly on to the primary reason I'm up here. Okay, so this is the primary reason that we're here. I'm testing out 3 saws. As ever, they've all got their pros, they've all got their cons. I'm just seeing which one would be most useful in a potential survival situation. As I say, they've all got their own uses, they've all got their own pros, they've all got their own cons. This one is a folding saw, green saw, obviously designed to cut through a log like this, obviously not too wide because the blade's not too big. Pros to it is the blade actually locks away properly. You actually have to push that button to release the blade, and then it also locks into place as well. I'll show you that a bit better a bit later on. Then we have these two. Now, this one, I'm not entirely sure what to call it. It's kind of a chainsaw that's hand operated, I suppose is the best thing to call it. And obviously we've got your standard wire saw just there. So I'll show you what I'm going to be cutting on. This is another dead tree, another fallen tree. I'm going to be cutting various bits off of it. Obviously it's not going to affect the tree, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so the way I'm going to test this is see how quickly each of these saws gets bound up, binded in the wood, and how much effort it takes to actually cut through something. I'm going to start off with this one, the standard wire saw that you get in the survival tins. Better quality one in this case, it's got the rubber grips on it. I'm going to start off with this limb here. As you can see, I've already started cutting through it. I did have a problem filming, so I had to cut and delete that. So I'm going to start again, slightly further up this time. This is still on the same tree, so it's still dead. So I'm just going to get myself in a little bit more comfortable position. Nice and smooth. And there we go, it's already started binding up. It takes quite a lot of effort. Change the angle, see if it can make a difference, which it does. Still a lot of effort though, but we are cutting through. So, trick with one of these wire saws is to keep it as straight as possible, and it will eventually cut through. Will take a lot of effort though. Put this away. Going to move on to this one. Now this one, I don't like this saw that much. It's better than the wire saw, but primary cons of it are, as you can see, exposed teeth, so quite easy to cut yourself on. Can wrap around your wrist, causing even more cuts, and the fact that it's actually a linked pieces of metal, which means you will have to keep it lubricated somehow. So slight slight cons there. Now for the pros, I like the handles. The handles are good, they're meaty, you can get a good grip on them. Let's see how well they cut through. Again, start off nice and slowly. Let the saw find its groove. Certainly a lot easier to handle one-handed. I imagine if I had somebody else here, we'd cut through that in half the time. Still a fair bit of effort to go through, but a lot easier than the wire saw. Okay, I'm not going to put this one in my pocket. I'm going to put that one there so I know where it is. And last but not least, we've got the folding saw. Now, as I stated earlier, it's probably better than the wire saw and the folding saw in that it's a lot safer. As you can see, the teeth are cut away in there. It's quite hard to get your fingers under there. If you did get your fingers under there, then it's your own fault. Locks in place when it's closed. Solid button right there that you have to push to open the blade up. Once it's in position, a lot of force, it would, well, that could break, but it'd take a lot of force to break it. Actually locks in place when it's open. To close it, you need to push the button down and then close it up, just like that. How easy is it to cut through something though? Let's move on to this limb here and find out. As you can see, virtually no effort at all. One-handed, nice and easy, as long as you do it properly, which I will, obviously I'll teach you on the course, but nice and easy, one-handed. There is one thing, one major con with this though. Can't really see that fitting in a normal survival tin. That's the only issue. Anyway, let's move on to something slightly bigger. We know that the wire saw is already eliminated from this because of the angle you have to cut it at. So that leaves the folding saw and the, I'm going to call it a chainsaw just for argument's sake. So, will this cut through the trunk? Let's find out. Again, I'm going to have to be very careful because the teeth are facing towards me. And the tree is rotten, so it'll probably go through quite quickly. Let's find out. Again, this will be at this point, it'll be a two-person job. Yeah, it's already bound up. So it's now taking me a lot more effort to cut through this wood. It's probably a bit too thick, but that was the point in trying this out. See how thick a trunk you could cut with these saws. Now it's getting a lot of effort in there, so I'm going to give up with the chainsaw. Again, put that to one side, teeth in, just so I know where it is. I'm not expecting much better from this saw, but we'll give it a go anyway. To be fair, this trunk is too thick for this saw anyway. As you can see, it's a bit too wide. But like I say, the whole idea of the experiment was to see how thick a branch we could cut, or how thick a tree we could cut with the saws that we had. Now this tree actually getting quite rotten. I can tell because of the way the saw is cutting through the wood. So it's soft anyway, it's softwood anyway. It's a pine tree, so it is softwood. But in this case, it's slightly rotting wood. As you can see, in the same amount of time, I've cut through quite a fair bit of the tree. If I was to give it another 5 minutes or so, I'd probably get all the way through. Now, because of where I'm cutting, the weight of the wood is actually going to be pulling down on the tree. You can hear it going there. So eventually the log would bind up on the saw and I'd probably lose the saw. If I were doing this somewhere else, obviously I would be taking that into account. As it is, I know timber as it is, I knew I wasn't going to be trying to cut through the whole thing anyway. So let me just stop the video and I'll come back in a second. So, collapsible saws, bushcraft saws, they've all got their pros, they've all got their cons. Whichever one you choose is up to you. For me, however, I'll probably be sticking with the folding saw. There's nothing wrong with these two in terms of their cutting abilities. This one takes a lot of effort. This one's good but dangerous. So, like I say, it's entirely up to you. I mean, personally, like I say, I'd stick with the folding saws. But if you don't have room in your survival tin for the folding saw, go for one of the other two. Just remember the limitations of them and remember the dangers of them as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.